years I was the trainer and the evaluation consultant at CENI. There were 3 really lovely years. I think the best part of it for me was when people you were training with or facilitating got it. When for the first time they really understood why outcomes were important, when you were working through the difference between planning your efforts and planning your effects, and they suddenly realised that their effects were the important thing. That's really, really rewarding for me, and I hope useful to them. I think over the 3 years that I was there, the sector learned a lot about outcomes and about how to evaluate against the difference they'd made rather than how hard they'd tried. The introduction of an outcomes-based programme for government helped with that, and I think because it was quite confusing for people, they sought more training and sought more understanding simply than how do you just do this, and that made them think really hard about the difference that they were making, and that was really good to see. I think another area that was uplifting, I suppose, during the time were the number of funders who started to ask, well, how do we check that we are having the effect we want to have, and not just ask our grantees about what it was that they did and their activities, but what difference it was starting to make. And I think that meant that the voluntary sector and the public sector and local councils started to talk a bit more about what they wanted to achieve together in terms of partnership. We certainly have seen a growth in partnership working, partly because people have had to share resources and think more smartly on their feet about what they're doing, but also I think because they realise you can't create big outcomes on your own. You need to work together. You need to each make your very unique and special contribution in what you're good at so that you get the change that you want overall. Haven't quite got to the part where people are able to apply for funds and be monitored and assessed for that collective impact, but I think we're moving in that direction. And I really hope that in the future we don't see the pressure on resources and money driving that apart, stopping people working together very collaboratively and positively rather than cynically just to stay alive. My other hope is that the third sector, the voluntary community sector, is recognised for its incredibly unique contribution towards economic growth here, towards community connections, towards people's well-being, just for being there and providing an independent alternative to the public sector, not just a cheap alternative, but an independent alternative that can make qualitatively different changes because it reaches people in a different way, and indeed it's run by people who benefit from the services.